What is going on, everybody? Welcome to today's training. Again, I'm not here to waste any of your time when I do these trainings, so I'm going to hop right into this, guys. I know this is a big thing around this time of year. During the holidays, people tend to fall off track. People tend to get excuses. They tend to procrastinate. They tend to basically just push all of their fitness and health goals off to the side during this time. And I really want to talk about the 5 reasons why you're finding it hard to stay on track. Okay, now these are not just during the holidays. It's going to be exponentially higher during the holidays because there's more going on, but these are things that are actually throughout the year at any point during the year. Okay, so number one mistake that you guys are making is eating to be stuffed instead of full. Now, the first thing to note is that nutrition is 90% of the physical results that you get. Okay, so when we're eating, it's all about moderation. Okay, it's not about restriction. And so we have an entire method that we teach our clients in terms of how to eat the foods that they love without sabotaging their results. But for the case of this training, I'm going to keep things very basic and just say moderation, not restriction. And so what that means is that you can eat whatever you want. You just need to do it in moderation, right? So I want you to still eat grandma's pie or grandma's cookies or the ham or the turkey or the stuffing or whatever it is that's coming around during the holidays. The cookies are my weakness, right? And so just don't eat the whole damn thing, right? Like, have some moderation, have some self-control. And if you can do that, you will be okay, okay? The last one here to touch on is drinking like a fish when the family is over to escape. Now, this is a big one because I know for us, a lot of the times family can be stressful and different things during the holidays, right? So this is another thing here that's going to hurt your progress, because if you're drinking, your stomach's going to be full. Now you're putting food inside, so of course it's going to be bloated and you're going to feel like crap, right? And not only is that just not good for your body, but it's not good for your health long term either. And so it's okay to have a drink, but again, we're going to come back to the moderation. And so if you're finding that you need to drink to escape during the holidays, there's probably a deeper cause that hasn't been addressed that we need to address with somebody in the family, if that's the case, right? Number 2 is the all or nothing mentality, okay? And so this is overcommitment and having unrealistic expectations that are not aligned with reality. And so what I mean with that is, if you find yourself saying things like, I can't go to the gym for 1 hour, so I'm not going to go. It's snowing outside, I can't drive to the gym. I have family coming today, so I can't do my full workout. My kids are going to be home all day, so I can't do a workout today, right? So instead, we need to do something, right? We can't give ourselves away to just have an all or nothing, right? So it's like, okay, I can't go to the gym for an hour, so I'm not going to do anything. Okay, I can't drive to the gym because it's snowing or whatever excuse you want to come up with. Okay, so let's do something rather than nothing, right? That applies to all of these scenarios here. And so we have to adjust our expectations with the reality that is in front of us, right? And so the reality is, if you're during the holidays, you probably have less time, there's more going on, so you may not be able to make it to the gym 1 hour a day every single day of the week. And so by having the expectation on yourself that you're going to go to the gym every single day for 1 hour, 7 days a week during the holidays is probably not realistic. And you're probably setting yourself up to fail right from the very beginning. And so sometimes we have to adjust our reality and our expectations, right? And so what I mean by that is, during the holidays, maybe you can only go 3 times a week, so you need to switch to full body workouts 3 times a week. Or maybe you're not able to make it to the gym because of the weather and family, there's too much going on, and driving to the gym 30 minutes, driving back 30 minutes is just too much of a time suck. So maybe you need to adjust to home workouts for that month, right? And so this is where really having a coach and having the knowledge of doing the right things and being able to make adjustments can really be beneficial for you. Because when people don't have somebody to turn to for help, or they don't have the education around what to do, then typically this is where people fall off track, because they have a situation come up and they don't know how to adjust to it. And so instead of adjusting to it, they just stop. And so again, that's where having a coach and having somebody in place and having an education system can drastically help you. And again, if you want help with that, that's not what this video is about, but I'm just going to put it out there. If you want help with that, we offer that. So send me a message and I can see what I can do for you, okay? So instead of doing nothing, adjust the expectations, walk the dogs, If the kids are home, walk with the kids, go outside, play with the kids, play with the dog, do things to be active instead of doing nothing, right? You can do body weight push-ups. When you first wake up in the morning, just stop by the bed, do 50 push-ups total, 100 push-ups total. Doesn't have to be all in one set. I can't even do 100 in one set, but just do something, right? Do some push-ups, do some squats, go for a walk. And if you do that, it's going to be a lot better than if you don't do anything for an entire month during the holidays, right? Also, home workouts. We have workouts that are 5 minutes, 8 minutes, 20 minutes. I'll send these to you for free that you can try out during the holidays if you want, right? Just drop a comment below that says home workout and I can get those to you. It's not a big deal for me. I can send you the workouts, okay? Again, play with your kids. Go play some sports. Go to a park. Do a body weight workout with them. You'd be surprised that if you start dropping down to the floor and doing push-ups, you'll probably find that your kids are going to want to challenge you and do it with you because they see you doing it, and so therefore they want to do it as well, right? When you're a parent and you're leading as a parent, they're going to follow your lead. And so if they see you doing something, naturally, they're probably going to want to do it with you, right? We've all seen those videos of the kids doing the push-ups, etc. And so in summary, these first 2 points, you should eat until you are full, but not stuffed. You should also try to do a little bit of exercise today, even if it's only for a few minutes, right? Something for 8 minutes, 5 minutes is much better than doing nothing at all. Also, on this fact, these home workouts that we have that are on my YouTube channel that I can send to you, all these different things, surprisingly enough, I find that these 8-minute workouts are much, much more taxing on my body and my cardiovascular system and sweating and just having a good workout than if I was to go on the treadmill for 30 minutes, right? So it's not about always doing things longer. It's about doing things smarter and the right way and getting more bang for your buck, doing things that have a maximum effect with a minimal effective dose, okay? Last but not least, don't drink too much when you're with family and try not to overcommit to things that you may not be able to do, okay? Number 3 is self-sabotaging after poor choices. And so what I mean is if you went and you ate everything, what usually happens? We start to beat ourselves up. We start to talk negative. We start to procrastinate. And I'm going to lead into the procrastination here of something like, hey, well, I already screwed up this entire week, month, year, whatever. Might as well wait till Monday, right? Or if it's December or whatever, might as well wait till January now. I already screwed up. Might as well wait till January or after the holidays. And this is just a way for you to self-sabotage, right? Your mind is used to doing that. And so we have to adjust and say, hey, like one bad day doesn't mean that we should just quit, right? Like if you have one bad day at work, I don't think you just quit your job, right? If you are driving in your car and you have one flat tire, you don't like slash the other 3 because you've got one flat. No, you go fix the one, right? And so it's the same thing here. Procrastination is a form of self-sabotage. It's you and your mind playing tricks telling you that, well, when it's Monday, I'll do it. No, the reality is you just have to snap your fingers, make a decision, and do it. You don't need to wait for a Monday, a January, a new month, a new week. You just snap your fingers and you do it. Again, coming back to point number 2, don't overcommit yourself. Do something rather than nothing, right? Number 2, escaping from consequences and reality. So instead of changing the bad habits, you 10x it, right? And a lot of the times this happens, right? We start to have one bad day of eating and we say, well, screw it. We already had one bad day. We might as well have a week of bad eating. And again, that's a form of self-sabotage. That is you coming back and making things worse. And really the problem was your behavior, and now you're continuing the behavior. So instead of continuing the behavior, something I didn't put on here is you need to actually go back and think about, why did I have this behavior? What triggered this behavior? What caused me to do this behavior? And address that, right? And then figure out what you can do next time that trigger comes up so that you don't make that same decision, right? So an example would be if you're coming home from work and the traffic is bad and you know that that causes you to want to drink after work. Okay, well now you know that the traffic is the trigger, and so now you can expect that there's going to be traffic, and instead of getting triggered, you already know it's going to be there, right? So you can handle that better next time and not make that choice. Okay, so negative saying things, so negative self-talk. I'll never be able to beat this addiction, right? So again, you had a bad day with, a lot of people are addicted to food and sugar. I had a bad day with these cookies, right? I'll never be able to stop eating all these cookies. I'll never be able to do it. Well, now you're telling yourself that you can't change it. And this is just the way you are, and I can never do this. And you're reinforcing in your brain that you can't do it. And so therefore your actions are going to align with what you're telling yourself and what you're feeding yourself. And what you're feeding yourself is that you'll never be able to beat it, right? And so your actions are going to align that you're never going to beat it. Mind blown right there when you think about that, right? I'll never be able to be successful at this. So same thing. If you tell yourself you're never going to be successful at it, what kind of actions are you going to take? Probably not very good actions to try to be successful, right? You're going to take actions that are going to validate that same statement there. This is just the way I am. I'm meant to be. I'm no good, etc. Same thing. This is the same concept that we just said. We're always going to go back and we're going to validate these things based on what we're saying. So instead, flip the script and say the opposite, right? And in the beginning, that might sound hypocritical and fake and false and, oh, I just want to speak my truth. And no, it's not about speaking your truth, right? Your truth is bullshit at this point. It's not working for you. So you need to change your brain and change the way you think. And that's going to take time. In the very beginning, you are going to have an imposter syndrome. But the more you do it, right? And the more you actually start to take the action, that action is going to reinforce the positive belief, and then you're going to have a positive belief over time. It's not going to happen overnight. It might take 30 days, 60 days, it might even take a year for you. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs because this is a lot of internal work that needs to happen, okay? The last one is validating your choices with excuses and blame. That's a form of self-sabotage. We're actually going to go into this really in depth on point number 5, okay? Putting everybody ahead of yourself. This is a big one, and this is really one of the biggest things that we teach all of our clients that come into our program. If you've even gone through our 5-day challenge, this is part of that as well. And so here's the reality, putting everybody ahead of yourself. So if you're doing things like being a yes man, your wife wants you to go to this birthday event that you really don't care about, you don't really know these people, they don't really add any value to your life, and you're just saying yes, 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 right? You don't really like going to the theme parks all the time, but you're going to say yes. You don't like doing certain things or being with certain people, but you say yes. You always say yes. You're afraid to say no to anybody because you're afraid of the kickback from them. And so you don't want to have that situation of, that awkwardness of saying no. And so you keep doing things you don't want to do, right? And so ignoring self-care routines. This would be a huge one during the holidays again, because what typically happens is we fall off track. And because of all these things that I've already outlined, we start to ignore our routines and we start to drift off. And so what that means is you're letting others control your actions instead of you controlling your reactions, right? And so the biggest thing here to understand is that the external events of the world, whether there's weather, there's relationships, there's people, there's work, there's whatever, does not have to infect the internal of you, okay? Now, I have a full training on this similar to what we're going through now that I can send to you. If you want that, just comment below self-care and I can send that over to you. Now, the more you do these actions, right, the more that you are a yes man, the more that you ignore yourself, the more you let everybody else dictate what you're going to do, this is only going to end in resentment, right? And I say this out of personal experience. I've been there where I used to say yes to everything. I was afraid to say no. I didn't want any confrontation or any disagreements or anything. And so I would say yes. And I would do things I didn't really want to do. And I would go places I didn't really want to go. And when you do that, you're not really in a good mood. You're not enjoying yourself, right? You're kind of bitter and miserable and you're not really present, right? Because you don't really want to be there. And so this is only going to end in resentment. And eventually it's going to end in an argument and bitterness over time. It's going to build and build and build and build and build until it explodes finally. Think of like a Coke bottle when you put Mentos inside of it, right? It explodes. And nobody wants to experience this during a holiday fight, right? We have these same situations a lot of the times inside of the family where, again, we let our family dictate what we're going to do. And ultimately, by us doing that over and over, year after year after year after year, eventually something's going to burst and somebody's going to burst. I think we can all think of a situation where there's been a big family fight over something that we saw coming a million miles away because of this exact situation here, okay? And so in summary, it's important that you take care of yourself and practice self-care. This means saying no to others and taking some time for yourself, right? There's nothing wrong with you taking 15 minutes for yourself, 30 minutes for yourself. Go take time for yourself, and then you can actually give good time to everybody else, okay? So even if it's just a small break, like it can help you stay happy and it can make you stay healthy and help you with your mood and to not feel that resentment and bitterness because you've already poured into your cup, right? You cannot take care of anybody else properly until you take care of yourself first. If I have a family, but I can't even support myself, well, how am I going to be able to afford to support a family? I can't, right? The same way that, okay, if I don't have food for myself, how can I give food to feed my family? I can't, right? You have to take care of yourself first. There's a reason on an airplane that they instruct you to put your oxygen mask on first before helping others. Because if you don't put yours on first and you go down, well, you're not of use to anybody anymore, right? So you're out, and now you can't help anybody else either. But if you put your mask on first, now you can help other people, right? Just makes total sense, okay? Number 5, and this is the one that's going to come out a lot of you, blaming everyone and everything for your own choices. I did a post inside of this group, if you're not watching this in the group, inside of the Facebook group on Friday, and we had some people who didn't like what I had to say about it. And the reality is those are people that are, again, blamers. They're victims. And so this is, if you find yourself saying things like, I can't because family is here. I can't because my boss has me doing overtime. I can't because my wife is off work. I can't because my kids are out of school. I can't because it's the holidays, it's weekend, it's birthday, whatever the case is. Do you understand that in all of these statements, nowhere here are you taking any accountability for yourself and your time and your actions and your choices and your habits? Everything is family, boss, wife, kids, holiday, external crap that you're blaming, okay? Nothing in here is valid. Now, you can make it valid if you want to, but that doesn't mean it's actually valid, right? It's still an excuse. So any excuse can be validated. And so if you validate this and you say, I can't because my family is here, well, now you've removed your power, right? You have no ability to take any ownership. You have no ability to take another action. Instead, you're the victim, right? And the family or whatever is the circumstance, is the villain, right? And it means you don't have any part in that change, right? It's not in your control. You can't do anything. You're powerless. Only them, right? And so because my family is here, I can't. Well, the reality is, how can you? Think of how can I? Okay, I could wake up earlier. I could, when everybody goes to bed, go down to the basement for 15 minutes and do some push-ups. When I wake up, I can do some push-ups. I could walk with my dog. I could do things, right? Like, these are all different things, right? The second one, when my boss has me doing overtime, I can't. This one, a lot of you are not going to like my response to this, but at the end of the day, everything you do is a choice. And so you're making the choice to work overtime. You don't have to work overtime. You don't even have to go to the job, right? You're making the choice to go to the job and to work the overtime. You have the ability to say, I'm not going to work overtime because I want to spend time with my family. And if that's not going to fit this company, then I'm going to go find another job. Now you have the power to actually change it, right? But instead, oh no, my boss has me doing overtime. I can't. You're a victim. You're not able to do anything because you've thrown all the power onto the boss or the corporation or whatever, right? And so same thing here, holidays, weekend, birthday. Oh, it's the holidays, I can't. Same exact thing. You're putting all of that power into external thing. Instead, what we need to do is realize that it's your fault. Everything is your fault. It's nobody else's fault, right? I've been through many situations where I had to take accountability that I didn't like, right? I didn't like it at first. But when you actually can take that accountability, you have the power and you feel better that you have the power because now you have the ability to change it, which leaves you not stressed and anxious, right? Because you actually realize that you have a choice and you have a say in this. One example I can use in my own life was a few years back, I was like 60 grand in credit card debt. And I was upset. I was like, why did the banks give me credit cards? I was so young. Why did I have this high limit? I don't even know why I had this limit. Why did they give me all this money to spend? It's how irresponsible the banks, blah, blah, blah. The reality is that banks, that's a whole nother story. We can talk about the ethics behind giving a credit card to a young person, but the bank didn't force a gun to my head and, force me to buy things on that credit card. I made the choice and I had to own that, hey, I made that choice, right? I swiped that card. I did that and that was my own fault. And so now I had the ability to change it versus, oh man, I hope that they do some forgiveness. I hope that the government comes in and saves me. No, I sat back and I said, I made this choice and now I can do something different. And that's the same thing we can do here inside of our health and fitness journey if you can do this. And not even in your health and fitness journey only, this can be at any point of your life, as in the example that I stated, right? Everything that you do in this life is a choice, right? Getting up and going to your job is a choice. Pouring into your marriage is a choice. Not pouring into your marriage is a choice. Not going to your job is a choice. Giving time to your kids is a choice. Not giving kids time is a choice. Everything is a choice, right? By you watching this video, you're making a choice to invest in yourself and to invest in your mentality so that you can become better. That's a choice that you're making, okay? So again, boss has you doing overtime. It's a choice. Like it or not, you're choosing to do it, okay? Kids are out of school. It's a choice for you not to be active with them or for you to set aside 30 minutes to take care of yourself. Stop blaming them. They're kids, right? They're kids. Stop blaming your kids. That's ridiculous. Wife is off work. Cool. Now you have somebody that can help you with the kids. So go get your shit done, right? It's the holidays that you can't. Okay, that's a choice. Again, and a way out for you to validate it. Like, are you just going to say, fuck it, every time something comes up in life? Like, life is not perfect. I don't know how old you are. I don't know what circumstances you've gone through, but life is not perfect, right? There's always a detour. I always say that there's either something that you just went through, you're going through something right now, or you're about to go through something. That's kind of the cycle of life, right? And life is not perfect. And if you expect to only be able to do things in a perfect situation, well, it's not going to happen because life isn't perfect, okay? And so in summary for here, number 5, it's important to remember that everything you do is a choice. And it's your responsibility, you watching this video, you, to make the right choices. Don't blame others or make excuses. Take ownership of your decisions and then take action on what you want to do going forward, right? To make a better decision, okay? If you'd like the PDF copy of this exact training, just comment PDF below. I can send it over to you. This exact kind of layout that we went through here. I also want to just end with this, guys. The approaches that I share in this method, in this group, are not up for debate. Okay, I have no energy. I have no time. I don't want to debate with you on social media. Like, you can go in another group and you can do that, okay? I've been coaching now for 6 years. My results inside of my own life and the clients that I've gotten results for speak for themselves of what we do works. So if you're here and you think that you have a better way, I'm here to tell you, you probably wouldn't be in this group or watching this training if your way was working, right? Because if something is working, you should probably just keep doing it. Stop looking for more information. Stop looking for another tip or secret. There's a reason why you're looking for something, right? And so if your way worked, you probably wouldn't be here. So trust me when I tell you that your way probably is not working, okay? Now, if you've made it this far and you don't resonate with this message, I don't know why you made it this far, okay? But if you prefer doing things a different way, you have a method, not better, but you have a better method for you, right? That you prefer, that you like. Or if you just don't like the way that I teach, that's cool. You can jump out of the group, and I encourage you to go find a coach that can meet you where you're at and that you resonate more with. Either way, nothing but love, right? Like, I want you to get value out of this group, but I'm not here to debate and argue with you, right, about keto or any of these other. I have our way of doing things, and it works perfectly well. And so that's what we're going to stick to inside of this coaching program. Again, if that's not the way that you want to do things, fine. You can find another group. You can have debates on your own timeline and talk about politics on your own thing or whatever you want to argue about. I'm not here to do it with you, okay? This is the way that we've gotten results for over 97 men and inside of my own life, and I've got the results that you want, obviously, or you wouldn't be here. And so you should only be taking advice from people who have the life and the results that you actually want. Right? So I'm just going to end with that. Okay. So nothing but love, guys. Again, if you enjoyed this training, I encourage you to comment below, share it below. Let me know what your takeaways were below. But yeah, that's what I got for you guys today. Hopefully you found some value out of this. If you did, again, just drop a comment and I'll see you next time.